Have you noticed there's a lot of mixed messages on YouTube about the RV industry, whether it's frame failure / frame flex, whether it's how well the industry's doing, how poor the industry's doing, is everything so great or is everything so horrible? Well, here I'm going to try to straighten that out in this RV industry update. Welcome to HBRV Lifestyle. They call me the Honey Badger because I give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business. And today is your September 2024 RV industry update. Now I'm going to do this in one straight take, no breaking it up. I will chapter it out when I upload it a little bit, so that way you can skip forward a little bit if you obviously are not interested in this part of the video. But before I do that, let me quickly say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you to everybody that has supported the channel. Thank you to everybody that watches my videos. When you watch my videos, when you subscribe to the channel, when you hit the like button, it actually helps this information get out there quicker. It signals to YouTube, and TikTok, and Rumble, and every other platform we're on here, to spread this information. That way people get a view from both sides, okay? Now let's get started with this thing. First off, we're having a lot of mixed messages about frame failure / frame flex, and I want to start with that, okay? And the mixed messages are two really big extremes. The extreme on one side says, oh, it's less than 0.5% of frames that fail. And then on the other side of things, you have every frame that's ever been built is going to break. Two really extremes. Now, if you look at the two extremes have big subscriber accounts, lots of money at stake. So it's kind of like become mainstream media type stuff. If you look at Fox News and CNN, MSNBC, ABC, all those guys, they lean and kind of direct their information to fit their political narrative. Same thing's happening in the RV industry. And we're going to get into some other, we'll call them lies, later on in this episode. But one of the things that's carrying on is it's like the sunshine and rainbows want to tell you that everything's great, keep everything positive, keep everything upbeat. Some of them are probably forced to do that because they're under contract with a corporate RV dealership, that has lots of lawyers, maybe on the stock market, whatever. And on the other side, they're not getting brand deals because their content's so extreme, so they depended on YouTube ad revenue. The truth is, and this is the hardest truth people are going to hear, is that this is predominantly being geared towards Grand Design RV fifth wheels. Okay? The accusations that customers have made to me, to people on Facebook groups, etc., this is leaning and predominantly with Grand Design RV. Okay? Now, Grand Design RV put themselves on a pedestal as the best in the industry. And they do some things that are really cool. I'm not saying that they're the biggest piles of crap on God's green earth. No. What I am saying is they have the biggest problem when it comes to the frames. Okay? And that's due, and that information is an opinion and an accusation made by consumers that have bought their product. I want to make that clear. Okay? Now, there are other manufacturers that have had this problem. If you want to talk about another manufacturer, it would be Keystone Montana High Country is the third most amount of accusations that I have received, yet it's not nearly close to the amount as Grand Design fifth wheels. So for those of you shopping for a fifth wheel, let me tell you that it's not every single Grand Design fifth wheel. Okay, so you could build 15 Momentums in a day, and one will probably be a problem. I don't know the real numbers. I'm just giving you an example, okay? That's kind of a half exaggeration. Number two is if you're going to Forest River or Jayco or Keystone, Montana, Keystone Cougar, Outdoors RV, Arctic Fox, all these other places, they're not having the frame problems, according to consumers, that Grand Design RV is having. Okay? And the easiest way to figure this out is if you go on YouTube itself and you put in the words frame failure and the brand that you're shopping, you will see that if there was a problem, it's been solved, or there isn't a problem. At least one that has negatively affected a customer or hasn't been resolved with a customer. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't other problems out there, okay? I'm not saying that at all. So for those of you that are going, oh my God, he's so full of crap. No, what I'm telling you is the problem is not with every single fifth wheel built, not with every single fifth wheel ever built, and not with every single fifth wheel brand. That's the brutal truth that the Armageddon YouTubers don't want you to know, and the Sunshine and Rainbows YouTubers don't want you to know, because it would affect their ad revenue, it would affect their money, okay? Now, I kind of teased the second lie a little bit, and the second lie is that every single RV is a piece of garbage, or every RV that's been built for 2025 is innovative. Now, again, clickbait titles, clickbait thumbnails, they're a part of YouTube, okay? They're a part of the industry. They're a part of how things work in the industry, okay? You know, you're starting to see some good trends with 2025s. One of the good trends you're starting to see, now that they're actually shipping them to dealers, is, I'll give you an example. I walked into a 2025 Keystone Bullet that I filmed, and it went away from Lippert as a frame. Now, I don't know why. I'll have to find that out later. But we're starting to see a trend that manufacturers are starting to spread their wings and go to other OEMs besides Lippert for frames, water pumps, converters. Woo, motorcycle. I'm up in the mountains, so we're going to see here a lot of motorcycles. They're starting to go to other places besides Lippert to start getting their parts. I believe I do have something to do with that. My ego says that I probably have something to do with it. They probably deny that I have anything to do with it. But I have said for a long time that Lippert is not 100% the problem. They're probably around 5 to 8% of the problem. And the biggest problem with Lippert is they don't have any competition. Now that you have a few other companies out there, NXG, BAL, that are now selling frames to RV manufacturers at a bigger clip than they were in years past, I think we're going to start seeing some more competition. Competition is healthy. Competition is healthy for Lippert. It's healthy for BAL. It's healthy for NXG. It's healthy for all of these companies to have some good competition, because out of competition comes real innovation. Because 2025 travel trailers, motorhomes, they're not innovative. There's nothing special, different about 2025s compared to 2024s, with some exceptions. Some changed colors and interior design. If you look at Wildwood and Salem travel trailers as an example, they went to an extreme makeover of interior and exterior design. Did they change the components? Have the components changed? No. Has anything innovative where they somehow lightened the frame and strengthened it at the same time? No. Is it so innovative that they have some kind of battery generator on there where you can dry camp without having a portable generator? No. There's nothing that innovative about it. But they did to me, did a good job reinventing the design of Wildwood and Salem and Evo travel trailers. I think it's not my cup of tea, okay, because that's just not my style. But there's a lot of people that like that earth tone style. There's a lot of people that like that Hilton hotel look, as an example. Keystone Bullet did not change anything on the interior exterior design, but they changed the company that they are buying components from. That's a good change, but that's not, the problem is the sunshine and rainbows people want to put this gangbuster title with the thumbnails like, hey, I know they've built this floor plan for the last 15 years, but it's brand new and never seen before. I mean, when I see that crap, I want to laugh. I want to laugh so hard that it makes my gut bust, right? It's just craziness. How can you think that something like that is just brand new? Are you like new to the industry because they've been building that floor plan the same way for 15 years? And every one of them are guilty of it. Then on the other side of it, you have people with these thumbnails that say all RVs are garbage. And it's like, that's just not true. But both are lying in their own ways. But they're not lying, they're over-exaggerating. Our RV, I always have said for years, RVs should come with a toolkit and sense of humor. I've said that for years, okay? You can go back to the 1980s and 90s, and I've sold a bunch of trailers from there. I've sold a lot of used that are 20, 30, 40-year-old used motorhomes, travel trailers. I will tell you that the older RVs are not built any better than the stuff built today, okay? There was year to year more innovation because technology grew. But the reality is not much has changed in 40 years. Technology has changed. Technology is probably the thing that affects things the most. Now, what older RVs have that newer RVs don't have is less technology. And when you have less technology in a coach, less problems occur. Less threats of a big problem can occur. So just imagine, on all these travel trailers, these motorhomes, these fifth wheels, they now have stacked solar systems. People add even more stacked solar systems, add weight to their stuff, right? They're putting these big, heavy batteries in these things now. They're putting these converters, these big charging systems. They're putting inverters in them. They're putting in these new fangled solar generators. Folks are increasing the technology, and manufacturers too, that go in these coaches. So just imagine the more moving parts you have, while it's an earthquake on wheels going down the road, it's going to have an opportunity to have some things go wrong. Now, that all being said, this is one reason why I have said for now 3 years that you should not just back up to your RV or pull your motorhome out and just go straight camping. You should have a checklist. I've been saying this for years. You should have a checklist of checking all of your systems a month or 2 months prior to your trip. Every time. That way, oops, the refrigerator's not working. Boom, I can take care of that before the trip. Oops, the leveling system's not working. Up, you need to go take care of that. Because what happens is a lot like our cars. Okay? We expect to wake up in the morning from work, get into our car, start it, and it works properly. We don't check our oil. If you actually read the manual of a car, you're supposed to check the oil. In electric cars, you're supposed to check battery systems and computer systems and everything else. Our expectation as human beings, because we're in the rat race of humanity, is on our daily grind, we don't want to go and check a battery or check oil or check fluids. We just want to get in the car or get in the RV or get in the boat or get on the motorcycle or get in the dirt bike, start it, and it's supposed to work properly. Okay? But see, that's controversial, and where the Armageddon YouTubers don't want to explain that. And the Sunshine and Rainbows guys don't want to explain that, because that would mean that people actually have to work when they own an RV. We don't want them to think that, because then they won't buy one. Yes, they will. People love this lifestyle. I'm going to tell you that the super majority of people I talk to, they don't want to go on camera. They like their privacy. But the super majority, so I've talked to now over 5,000 people that own an RV. Out of 5,000 people in the last 3 months, okay, only 2 of them have told me that they've had such serious problems that they're fighting with the manufacturer to get rid of it. The rest of the people, it's, oh yeah, my slide didn't work, but hey, you know what? It was in the shop for a month and we got it fixed. Yeah, hey, you know, first trip out, one guy told me, first trip out, my jacks got stuck on my motorhome. I couldn't get them up. I had to call AAA to come out and help me get the jacks up, you know, or I had to call a mobile mechanic. I can't remember what he said. But realistically, most people, like the super majority of people, are super happy with their rigs. Okay? And that's the truth that the Armageddon people don't want you to know. But the Sunshine and Rainbows people, they don't want you to know that it comes with a toolkit and a sense of humor, right? Everything's perfect. Everything's wonderful. I work for a corporate RV dealership. I'm a corporate RV dealership YouTuber with a lot of subscribers. You can trust me. I mean, that's kind of how they act, right? If I'm wrong, let me know, but that's kind of how they act. Like, they get this big smile like, it's so innovative. It's so great. I want to cry. Somebody give me my Oscar. You guys remember The Mask with Jim Carrey? Remember when he's saying there and he says, I love, thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's just like, Christ. The next one, and it's the last one, then we'll get into other stuff. The next one that really just irks my craw is when, you know, both sides of the argument of this whole everything's perfect or everything is a pile of crap is when they bring guests on, or they have people within their friend group that piggyback on their video, or they go on some attorney's YouTube channel and say ridiculous crap that isn't true. Okay? When someone claims, and this is anybody, this isn't just one person, there's several people that have piggybacked and made this claim that the manufacturers are trying to buy people's silence. Okay, so the buying people's silence thing, the non-disclosure agreement thing, is a slippery slope to talk about. Okay, first off, do I believe that these buyouts that have occurred with Grand Design and the non-disclosure agreement that they've had folks sign, do I think that that's buying their silence? Yes and no. In my opinion, I think they're just going back to get rid of bad publicity, keep bad publicity off the internet, keep everything good, keep everything sunshine and rainbows, have these guys that are big corporate RV dealership YouTubers that are attached to Grand Design through their dealership, do nothing but promote how great everything is and how everybody's super crazy and it's the consumer's fault and it's the customer's fault. But on the Armageddon side, non-disclosure agreements are normal. At least they've been normal since I've been in the industry. Every manufacturer uses one. Every single dealership uses one. When it comes to anything regarding a large amount of money, a buyout, a lemon law, anything of that nature, it's protection most of the time. I'm not saying all of them, but the majority of the time, a non-disclosure agreement not just protects the company from getting exposed for how much money they gave, and this is in settlements too, But it also, watch this, it also protects the people that are working on the settlement or on the non-disclosure agreement. So it protects them from having their name exposed. Most people want to keep their privacy, especially when they're just an employee or just a consumer or just a paralegal working for an attorney. It keeps their phone numbers, their addresses. It keeps their names out of things because they have nothing to do with it. It keeps the customer's name, because a non-disclosure agreement is two ways. So the buyout company, no matter what it is, can't expose the customer's name and how much they gave them and expose anything that went on during the negotiating process, and vice versa. Okay, so an NDA is very normal. The verbiage of NDAs can be very not normal. I've never seen these NDAs coming out that say you can't post anything on social media. That was very interesting to me. That was very eye-opening. Okay, so there's a balancing act here, okay, where NDAs, buyouts, things of that nature are very normal. They aren't trying to buy your silence necessarily, okay? Now, in some cases, they may be, okay? I don't know. They may be. But to try to silence YouTubers by buying them out, that doesn't make sense either, okay, on either side. So there's people that have, and it's not just one person, there's been multiple people on YouTube, on TikTok, that have basically Me Too'd the RV industry is trying to silence me. Okay. So I know of one YouTuber that has received a cease and desist. If you read this cease and desist order, this is months ago, you'll actually find out it's over a specific thing they said, not about frame failure, not about Lippert, not about BAL, not about a manufacturer specifically, but about a specific part of their video that, come to find out, has been debunked. Okay, there is a specific YouTuber, I won't name their name, you can figure it out for yourself. They never had an insider that actually worked for a specific company. The person was a vendor for the company. So that has been debunked. Okay, so there's a reason why they sent a cease and desist on that specific portion of that video, not about the rest of it. That's why I am proud of that YouTuber, because that YouTuber actually posted the cease and disorders and the communications on the video. So if you hit pause, you can actually read them and read for yourself that it wasn't about the whole video. But again, just like I've been saying, if you don't make it out to be the end of the world, and that the world is after me, and they're going to sue me, and they're going to shut me down. Now, I've had somebody try to cancel me because of my podcast. One person. Not the whole industry. One person. And they failed miserably. Right? Because I wasn't going to go, I'm not going to go down lying. I'm not going to go lying down. Okay? At the end of the day, this is something that needs to be understood, that we as an industry are a very small industry. We might be very large in scale, but everybody kind of knows each other or knows of each other. Okay. So anytime somebody makes a claim, if somebody calls me and says, hey, guess what? XYZ YouTuber was offered a $1 million motorhome to keep their silence over some stupid video. I'll be like, oh, okay. Hold on a minute. Click. Call that actual person. Did you really do something that stupid? No. Right? So we just have to take things in a grain of salt. Is everything perfect? No. Will everything ever be perfect? No. It's never going to be back up to your travel trailer, hook up and go, and everything's going to work properly. You got to run your slides in and out. Just do the simple things. Take an hour or 2 hours, 2 months before your trip, hook up to your RV, hook up to power, start a generator, hook up to your truck, whatever the case may be. Go through the RV, make sure everything's working properly. Carry a small toolkit. Carry a couple emergency supplies. You know, it'll be fun. I promise. Last thing I really need to go over is parts and the part shortage that I've been talking about. I believe that's a big part of why manufacturers are starting to spread their wings beyond Lippert. Because I had a source that is actually works at a service department at a dealership, at a very large dealership, tell me that they're already experiencing part shortages. It's begun. Okay. So if you're a snowbird, and you're gonna you're like, oh, I'm just gonna hook up right after Christmas and we're gonna go. No. Get your butt off the couch. Do it before Super Bowl Sunday. Go to your fifth wheel, go to your motorhome, go to your travel trailer, whatever it is. Or if you don't have it with you, you have it near, let's say, Palm Springs or Phoenix or Memphis, Tennessee, or wherever you have it stored, have someone or yourself start going through and doing a systems check. I'm telling you, if you wait till the last minute and there's a problem, you're going to get so pissed off, it's going to ruin your winter. It's going to ruin your vacation. Get your butt off the couch, set down your beer, and go handle that. So that way, when the time comes and the part shortage gets even worse than it is right now, then what's going to happen is, while everybody else that was last minute screaming, yelling to high heaven and making videos about how everything's a pile of crap, you'll be sitting there with a beer in one hand, a beer in the other hand going, this is why I did it prior. This is why I did 3 months before, to make sure that I was ready. Okay. Now, if you are trying to buy an RV this year, or even into 2025, and you know it's going to be over $100,000 and you're financing it, you're going to want to check out that video right there. Until next time, toolkit and sense of humor, folks.